Welcome to the explainer. Right now, inside of you, there are around 37 trillion cells working in total darkness, executing these highly coordinated maneuvers just to keep you sitting upright and watching this screen. Crazy, right? If you've ever stopped to marvel at the human body, you already know it's an absolute masterpiece of engineering. But today, we're going to look right past what we can easily observe on the surface, and we're exploring the hidden structural architecture that makes literally everything you do entirely possible. Let's get into it. I want you to think about this physical reality for a second. What makes your eyelids snap shut in a fraction of a second to clear away a dust particle, and then almost instantaneously slide back up so you can see again? We experience this constantly. It's just a blink. We don't even think about it. But what actually drives that instant, highly precise movement? To answer that, we have to look at the foundational rule of biology, and it's this: form dictates function. Our sources highlight two distinct but deeply connected fields of study. They're basically two sides of the same coin. Anatomy is the scientific study of structure. The word actually comes from a Greek root meaning to cut apart. Physiology, on the other hand, well, that's the study of function, how those structures actually work together to support life. So you can't fully appreciate the physiology of that snapping eyelid without understanding the incredibly unique underlying anatomical structure making that movement happen in the first place. Section 1. The architecture of you. Okay, to really ground ourselves in this architectural concept, let's think of the human body like a massive, bustling city. The body is the city itself, and your major organs, your heart, your lungs, your stomach, those are the large buildings. They're distinct, massive structures serving very specific survival purposes. When we look at those large buildings, we're studying what's called gross anatomy. The prefix macro means large, so you'll also hear this referred to as macroscopic anatomy. This involves studying the anatomical features that are easily visible to the naked eye, historically observed through dissection. We're talking about looking at the major internal organs, the external body, or regional areas like the head or chest, without needing any kind of visual aid. Now, if gross anatomy looks at the big buildings of our city, microscopic anatomy looks at the bricks, the mortar, and the internal wiring. This level of study requires magnification. We're shifting our perspective away from the naked eye and acting like a high-powered microscope lens, zooming straight down into the intricate cellular level that physically constructs those larger organ systems we just talked about. Section 2. Beyond the naked eye. We weren't always able to see this microscopic world, obviously. Discovering it required a pretty fascinating historical journey of pure curiosity and incredible technological leaps. If we briefly track your structural discoveries, it all started back in ancient Greece, relying entirely on naked eye observation and dissection. It wasn't until the 17th century that a true breakthrough happened. An Italian anatomist named Marcello Malpighi used early microscopes to look closer than anyone ever had before. Now, his cutting-edge equipment was likely far less powerful than the magnifying glass on your smartphone, but it literally changed everything. He noticed these tiny, hair-like connections between arteries and veins in the lungs of frogs and bats. He named them capillaries. Suddenly, the invisible became visible. Jumping to today, in the 20th and 21st centuries, we've advanced to incredibly complex, non-invasive 3D modeling and imaging to map out this entire hidden world. Section 3. The 4 fabric types. Let's turn our magnification dials even deeper, moving from entire organ systems down into the precise study of the microscopic mortar that holds us together. Microscopic anatomy actually splits into two main branches of focus. You have histology, which is the study of the organization and details of biological tissues. Then, if you zoom in even further, you have cytology, which focuses entirely on the structure and function of individual cells. For our journey in this explainer today, we're going to focus heavily on that tissue layer, the histology. All of those massive, complex, gross anatomical structures in your body, they are built from just 4 primary types of microscopic fabric. You have epithelial tissue, which covers and lines your surfaces, muscle tissue, which drives movement, connective tissue, which provides structure and support, and nervous tissue, which handles control and communication. These 4 living fabrics literally weave together to build the macroscopic organs of your bodily city. Section 4. Inside the muscle machine. I want to slow our pacing down significantly here because we've hit maximum magnification on just one of those fabrics, muscle tissue. Look closely at this. We are looking at something highly complex called a sarcomere. This is the fundamental, functional unit of skeletal muscle. Do you notice those overlapping red and blue lines? Those are protein filaments called actin and myosin. This is the exact microscopic scaffolding that exists inside your muscle cells. So here is a breakdown of how this tiny architecture works mechanically. Step 1. The actin and myosin filaments overlap to form that structural scaffolding. Step 2. A cross-bridging mechanism engages. The filaments essentially grab onto each other and slide past one another. Step 3. This sliding action causes the entire muscle unit to physically shorten, snap. This microscopic, chemical, and structural interaction is the exact mechanism that creates the macro movement of your arm lifting, or that eyelid snapping shut instantly. Section 5. Connecting micro to macro. All right, it's time to zoom back out. We've gone from the tiny, invisible filaments of a single sarcomere all the way back out to the scale of the whole human body. Consider this core principle. Tissues are groups of similar cells and their extracellular products that work together to perform a specialized function. This beautifully illustrates how histology forms the ultimate bridge. It connects the deep, invisible actions of microscopic cells directly to the massive, visible functions of your gross organs. You simply cannot have the macroscopic without the microscopic. Which brings us to one final provocative thought to leave you with. If every large movement, every heartbeat, and every physiological function relies on this precise microscopic architecture, how might a single, unseen microscopic change ripple up to alter your entire macroscopic reality? It is absolutely fascinating to deeply consider how our largest, most visible functions depend entirely on an architecture we can't even see with the naked eye. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it sparked your curiosity. And, as always, keep exploring.